If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? Now, black people, they use the N-word, don't they? We invented that.
Alright everyone, get ready because we're about to dive into one of the funniest Hollywood roast sessions you've probably ever witnessed. Ricky Gervais, the reigning king of I Don't Care, has made it his mission to take down all those overly woke celebs, Hollywood elites, and basically anyone who thinks their fame gives them the right to tell us how to live. Honestly, it's like watching a comedy wrecking ball crash through a fancy award show. Just pure chaotic gold.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So
let's start with Ricky's legendary Golden Globe speech. Now, if you haven't seen it, picture this. You're a celebrity all decked out in designer gear, ready to enjoy a night of compliments and self-congratulations. Then Ricky steps up and says, "Wait a minute, you all don't have a clue about the real world." And bam, the silence in the room is painfully awkward. Ricky isn't one to hold back. He dives straight in, calling out actors and directors who use their award wins as a chance for a grand political speech. He pretty much says that the people in there were in no place to preach to the public about anything because, well, they know nothing about real life, and that most of them barely spent as much time in school as Greta Thunberg.
Saying it was the role she was born to play because she... I can't do this next joke. Because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet.
Oh, that's really gotta sting. By the way, Greta Thunberg is a teenager who's been leading the charge in climate activism, so Ricky's message is crystal clear. If you haven't really lived in the real world, maybe sit this one out. And honestly, he's got a point. It's wild how some celebs think that just because they're famous, they have a free pass to lecture everyone on life's big issues. But here's the real kicker. Ricky doesn't just tell them they're clueless. He's like, take your little award, thank your agent, thank your God, and off you go. Basically, he's telling the Hollywood celebrities in front of him to stick to what they know.
Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God,
and we're just getting to the juicy stuff. Would you like to know who else Ricky is aiming his target at? Executives in Hollywood. That's right, the big bosses who pull the strings. The fact that these executives are actually terrified of Ronan Farrow is something that he brings up, despite the fact that they talk about being woke. In the event that you are unaware, Ronan is the journalist who brought to light the entire Harvey Weinstein scandal, which resulted in a mountain of Hollywood secrets being revealed. Ricky doesn't pull punches. He tells them in no uncertain terms, "I'm coming straight for you." Translation, hey, you guys working behind the scenes, you're not as untouchable as you believe you think you are.
People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you.
And just like that, without missing a beat, Ricky dives in even deeper, calling them all perverts and cracking a joke about it being a big year for movies. A dig at documentaries like Surviving R. Kelly and Leaving Neverland. And to spice things up even more, he throws up a jab at the two popes, hitting at the abuse scandals tied to the Catholic Church.
Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland.
The crowd appeared to be squirming in discomfort, but Ricky, he didn't care one bit. Imagine being one of those Hollywood bigwigs just sitting there, trying to keep a straight face while Ricky casually accuses your whole industry of being packed with predators. That's the brilliance of it. Ricky says what everyone is thinking but is way too scared to admit. Sure, he's probably not winning any popularity contests in Hollywood, but does he care? Not even a smidge. And wait, there's more. Ricky doesn't just stop at execs, he goes after Caitlyn Jenner too. Now, before you're like, oh no he didn't, let's break it down. Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce, is one of the world's most famous trans women. When Ricky got called out for dead-naming her, referring to a trans person by their pre-transition name, he didn't back down. Instead, he shrugged and said, "I didn't know dead-naming was a thing, but now I've learned my lesson."
I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name.
And just when you think he's about to say something heartfelt, he hits you with the punchline. And boy, does the crowd lose it with this one.
He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he probably...
Ricky G is a genius because he walks that razor-thin line between being offensive and being brutally honest. And he does it all while making people laugh. It should come as no surprise that Ricky is of the opinion that the concept of dead naming may be a little bit exaggerated. His jokes highlight the absurdity of attempting to erase someone's history as if it were a thing that should never have happened. In Ricky's opinion, the mere fact that someone transitions does not mean that we have to pretend their entire life before that moment never occurred. You can't deny that he makes a hilarious and thought-provoking point about how we deal with these extremely sensitive topics in today's world, regardless of whether you agree with him or not. Furthermore, in a manner that is characteristic of Ricky, he goes even further by making a joke about how he has always been identifying as a chimpanzee, and how from this point forward, everyone should refer to him as Bobo. Exactly, Bobo.
And don't ever dead name me. Don't ever call me Ricky Gervais again. From now on, you call me Bobo.
So this is Ricky's way of pointing out how ridiculous he thinks some of these identity debates have become. He's having a laugh at the idea that if you want a new name or label, you should probably expect a bit of humor in return. I mean, Ricky Gervais, did we expect anything else? But if you think he's done, oh no, he's just getting started. Ricky also took aim at Hollywood actors pushing their political views. You've seen it, right? Celebrities on Instagram or Twitter telling you who to vote for and acting like you're a terrible person if you don't agree with them. Ricky's had enough of it too. He made a parody video pretending to be one of those beauty or wellness influencers, sarcastically saying, "As a celebrity, I know all about things like science and politics, so trust me when I tell you who to vote for."
As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics, so trust me when I tell you who you should vote for.
That was pure comedy gold. He's mocking this whole influencer culture where celebrities think fame makes them experts on everything, from politics to climate change. And the fact that Ricky's video went viral proved that loads of people are tired of Hollywood elites acting like they're the ultimate moral authorities. But here's where Ricky really takes it to the next level. He doesn't just call out celebrities, he holds up the mirror to the entire Hollywood system. Remember when he joked that if ISIS started a streaming service, those folks would call their agents?
Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you?
When it comes to pointing out to the double standards of these woke celebrities, Ricky is all about pointing out the fact that they preach about ethics while simultaneously cashing checks from companies like Apple and Amazon, which have their own fair share of questionable practices. So yeah, it's pretty simple to stand up there and talk about human rights, but do they really care when those fat paychecks come from companies that aren't exactly treating workers in the right way? Ricky is not of the opinion that this is the case, and he's not afraid to point them out to them.
Made by a company that runs in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney.
And of course, he couldn't wrap things up without taking a playful jab at his old pal, Steve Carell. Now, on the surface, it looks like a friendly back-and-forth banter, but there's definitely a little edge to it. Ricky created The Office, the very show that launched Steve Carell into stardom, and Ricky never misses a chance to remind everyone of that.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell?
The jabs at Carell being ungrateful for leaving The Office and ending the cash flow might sound like jokes, but you know there's always a hint of truth in comedy, right? So what's the takeaway? Ricky Gervais simply doesn't care about stepping on toes, especially when it's about calling out Hollywood hypocrisy. Whether he's mocking woke culture, political preaching, or actor egos, no one is off limits from his razor-sharp humor. He's the guy who says out loud what everyone is secretly thinking but doesn't dare to voice. Now here's the one big question. Is Ricky just keeping it real, or is he crossing a line? Does Hollywood need more folks like him holding up a mirror to its contradictions? Or is he just stirring the pot for the sake of controversy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed the breakdown of Ricky's savage truth bombs, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what we've got coming up next.